Hey guys, welcome to the reaction channel. No, just kidding. This is an article I found by this writer called Jon Cronshaw. And the reason I thought this article is interesting is because it's called The Evolution of Epic Fantasy Tropes. And I thought, evolution? It's interesting. Well, let's talk about the evolution of epic fantasy tropes. Let's see what he says about it. Says explore the evolution of epic fantasy tropes with a twist of dark humor, from chosen ones to complex worlds and powerful female leads. There's this art thing here, and this was written on December, whoa, that became all blue, December 4, 2023. So last December. Okay. Epic fantasy. Why does the picture turn blue? Come on. Come on. Yes, there we go. Epic fantasy. A genre as enduring as an overambitious wizard's beard. Okay. Has long been the home of grand tales and even grander cliches. Yet in recent years, why does the picture turn? I'm going to do it this way. Yet in recent years, these tropes have undergone a transformation, much like a reluctant hero who realizes he's left the oven on in chapter 1. Can we stop with these metaphors and similes and stuff like that? Let's delve. Why is the picture turn blue? I didn't select you, picture. Let's delve into this fantastical world to see how these changes have unfolded. Okay, let's see. The chosen one, or the accidentally selected. Okay. The chosen one. Everything turns blue. Stop it. The chosen one. A character as traditionally predictable as rain is... Okay, this is this guy's style of writing. He wants to attach things to everything. It's fine. It's just fine. A character as traditionally predictable as rain at a British barbecue. You see, I don't live in the UK, so I don't know. I guess he's from the UK. I don't know, because I don't know. I live in Japan. Character as traditionally predictable as rain at a British barbecue. Does that mean that he's really predictable? Because I do know it rains a lot over there. Once they were the heart and soul of epic fantasy. I almost said epic fantasy. Epic fantasy. Plucked from obscurity to save the world. Think Tolkien's The Lord of the Rings or Lewis's The Chronicles of Narnia, but modern authors like George R.R. Martin and Brandon Sanderson have had a bit of a laugh with this trope. Now, everything turns blue. Can you stop? Now, our chosen ones are more likely to stumble into destiny after a wrong turn, bringing a delightful blend of incompetence and unforeseen heroics to the table. Okay. So, the chosen ones stumble into a destiny after a wrong turn. I mean, but wouldn't you say Narnia, the so-called chosen ones, the 4 children, stumbled into destiny? Not necessarily after a wrong turn, but I mean they did stumble into it. You know? So, what are we talking about again? What is this article about again? Evolution. I was thinking that this article would be something more so grand. So the evolution, we're going to look at how the trend of chosen one has changed over time with a whole bunch of like examples and stuff. But no, that's not what we're doing. Okay, well, I mean, okay. Let's move on and see what happens. Second one is good versus evil, or how everyone's a bit dodgy. She's definitely from the UK. Dodgy. I feel like I have to say the word dodgy with a British accent, but I can't, so I won't. Dodgy. I don't know. It just sounds like such a British thing to say for some reason. People who are British, please tell me if I'm wrong. I feel like it's a very British thing to say. Gone are the days when good and evil were as clear-cut as a knight's sword through a surprisingly soft drink. Please stop with these. Just let's get to the point, please. It's twisting my mind into weird places. I can't concentrate on this article if it keeps doing this. In the past, we knew where we stood, like a tree in the forest, or more accurately, who we cheered for, like people at a basketball game. I feel like it would. That's what it feels like. This entire article should do that. Every single sentence if they're going to do it. Today, thanks to writers like Joe Abercrombie and Steven Erikson, characters inhabit moral gray areas, much like a politician's promises. Okay, I see you, Jon Cronshaw. You kind of like to poke a little bit of fun at things. I see. Okay, that's your thing. It's no longer about good triumphing over evil. It's about who's less of a scoundrel. Gray characters. If we're talking about evolution, Mr. Jon Cronshaw, we should talk about, give like actual examples of clear-cut good and evil, and some actual examples of morally gray characters, giving actual examples of actual characters. I think that's what we should be doing if we're looking at the evolution. And saying evolution that's a pretty big word. I mean, like if you think about good versus evil, maybe, I know people don't like this to be brought up, but Harry Potter and Lord Voldemort, or like, what else? The Evil Eye in Lord of the Rings and the Fellowship and stuff like that. Or think about Disney, good versus evil. Peter's there all the time. Ursula and Ariel. Clear cut, good versus evil. Gray characters. I remember when I first started writing fantasy for the very, very first time, first started tackling a long length novel, that I wrote a gray character without even knowing what the term a gray character was. So I don't know if it's, I wasn't reading books like Joe Abercrombie or Steven Erikson. I was just, anyway, could get into some more detail, would be nice to talk about evolution, but anyway, we're moving on. World building. Why is this so short? Now with more realism. Tolkien's Middle-earth set the bar for world building, but let's face it, it lacked a certain, what's the word? Yes, diversity. Modern epic fantasies such as N.K. Jemisin's The Broken Earth trilogy offers worlds with more layers than a wizard's wardrobe. Can you just, I don't know. Stop doing that. Comparing things with other things is just twisting my brain around. Complete with cultures and languages that reflect our own world's messy, wonderful diversity. If we're going to talk about diversity, it also reflects our acceptance and understanding of diversity as a society, because that is reflected in the fiction books that we write. So get into that a little bit more in this article. I mean, I feel like this article is lacking some things. It could be expanded, perhaps. He could really expand this. but he probably doesn't want to make it so long. I don't know. Magic systems or making sense of the nonsense. Magic, once as mysterious as the contents of a deep, dark dungeon. Okay, I have to, because see here, this thing with this article here is that I am thinking about magic, mysterious. And then I have to think about, okay, what is the contents of a deep, dark dungeon like? I'm just completely lost again. Maybe that's just me, but this is really, I mean, it's his style. I get it. But if you're writing an information type article, maybe do it once or twice, but not do it every single time. Because sometimes being clear is better than being overly creative. And I know you want to have these things in there. I know that as a writer, I know that you want to keep these fun little tidbits in for people who like your style of writing, but maybe there's a different place to do that. It's just what I'm saying, just my opinion, take it with a grain of salt. Where was I? Okay, earlier fantasies treated magic like a secret recipe known only to a select few. Nowadays, authors like Brandon Sanderson give us hard magic systems where magic is so well defined it could feature in a physics exam. It's less about waving wands and more about understanding the fine print of the universe. I don't know if that's an evolution. I mean, it's not like Brandon Sanderson is an ancient author or something, but he's not like an author from yesterday, right? He's pretty established. Maybe a different example would have been better. And maybe give some examples of when magic was just mysterious and kind of, I don't know, what is this? This is an article about evolution, isn't it? I'm kind of becoming a little bit disappointed. The role of women from damsels to destroyers. Okay. Remember when women in epic fantasy were as active as a painting on the wall? Thankfully, those days are as gone as a dragon's diet plan. Now I'm trying to think. A dragon's diet plan. What the heck is that? And how is that like those days are as gone as a... I am confused. I'm so confused. I am confused. Now female characters are leading the charge, armed with their own complexities and strength. From G.R.R. Martin's formidable women to Robin Hobb's influential heroines, these characters are shattering glass ceilings with a battle axe. Okay, and I feel like there should be more to this section. I know maybe he wasn't sure. He knew he should talk about it, but he wasn't sure how to talk about it because he's a guy. I don't know. But I feel like there should have been more here about this evolution. I mean, what is written in fiction really reflects the society of that time when you think about it, because there's a lot more POC authors and POC characters these days than there were before. There's a lot more representation of LGBTQIA plus and all that, and representation of people with disabilities and different religions and everything, and that reflects the change in our society too, how we're accepting of more different people and how our ideas are changing. And it's really interesting, actually, that sort of evolution. And maybe he could have expanded this article in that way a little bit more, just as all I ask. Okay, he ends with this. Epic fantasy has certainly come a long way from its once predictable roots, much like a hero on a... Okay, here we go. Let's try to imagine this. Much like a hero on a quest who realizes halfway that the real treasure was the friends they made along the way, or perhaps the enemies they gleefully thwarted. Come a long way from its once predictable roots. Why? How is that like a hero on a quest who realizes halfway that the treasure was his friends? I know you want to do all this simile stuff. It's simile, right? I know you want to do all this simile stuff, but it's confusing the heck out of my brain. Maybe it's just me. Maybe it's just me. Anyway, this genre's evolution, laced with a touch of dark humor, shows us that even in worlds filled with magic and myth, change is the only true constant. So let's raise our goblets to the ever-shifting landscape of epic fantasy, where the only guarantee is a thrillingly unpredictable adventure. Cheers. Anyone who ends with cheers is probably from the UK or Australia, perhaps. People in America don't really say cheers, do they? This article makes me want to do a video on evolution of fantasy tropes with examples, specific examples, researched examples. I'm not saying that his article sucks, but I'm saying that it could be expanded. It sounds like it's a draft of an idea of an article, and maybe he could expand this. I mean, just because an article was written in December of last year doesn't mean it can be updated. Doesn't mean it can't be updated, is what I wanted to say. I think he can do a little bit more. He seems to have the words for it. It's just there's not enough of it. So he seems to have captured the essence of an evolution, but there needs to be more, is my opinion. And I think he can do that. He can definitely do that. He is a writer. Of course he can do that. Jon Cronshaw, I challenge you to expand this article. I think that you have something interesting here. You can definitely do something more with it. Expand these sections, add some more examples of characters, actual examples, and not just brush over them, because it's an interesting article. And I would be more than happy to look at this again if it's been updated. Anyway, that's my reaction to this article. So, anyway, let me know your thoughts on this article. Could it be expanded? Does he have something here? Is there something here more that could be added and things? Drink coffee. Some good old coffee. Anyway, that's that. Yeah, what was I saying? Yeah, let me know your thoughts, comments down below. Like this video if you liked it. Subscribe. And I post one video a week. I don't know what the content is going to be, but it's either going to be some article reaction thing like this, a breakdown of a writing advice article, or my rambling thoughts and thoughts. So one of those. And sometimes it's bookish. Sometimes it's about books. And stuff. Well, anyway, that's it. I said all the things that you need to do. I told you about all the buttons you need to press and touch and stuff. And hope you have a lovely day. You will hear me in another video. And that's it. The fox is out.